So one of the mistakes I've seen entrepreneurs making in their businesses is just to focus on revenue. A lot of times entrepreneurs focus more on the top line of the business, forgetting the other
top
parts.
line revenue.
They, yes, top line, yes, revenue. They try to grow their revenue. So at some point, they grow to their revenue to a particular stage. Imagine somebody making 100 or 1 billion naira in Nigeria in revenue. And by the time you look at it's a lot, it's a lot of money. When they get to that stage, now start trying to look at it that what's my cash flow looking like? What's my profitability looking like? But all the while they had paid attention more to growing the top line, and they kept on growing it, not focusing on the other parts, on the profitability, on the financing. And I know that right now interest rate is very high in Nigeria.
Welcome to the King Dems podcast, where we share the stories of extraordinary people and dissect hot, relevant topics that shape our world. From visionary leaders to trailblazing creatives, we uncover the mindset, strategy, and grit behind greatness. Whether it's business, culture, or personal growth, we ask the real questions. This isn't just conversation, it's transformation. The King Dems podcast. Your next breakthrough starts here.
Music licensing reimagined.
You're live, ladies and gentlemen. You once again. Welcome to the King Dems podcast and the Diary of a CFO. And today I've got to meet a very, very special guest, Michael Hun, fighting out of Lagos, Nigeria. Ayobami, the finance and business strategist, Ishola. I guess you thought you were fighting for a minute.
Thank you, Ademola, for this opportunity to speak with you on the King Dems podcast. It's excellent to be here and to speak with you, basically.
Oh, wow. And I'm happy, and of course I'm grateful, and I have a positive bias towards you because you're Nigerian like myself, and you're not just Nigerian like myself. You're running Nigeria. As long as I'm concerned, you are the president of that country to me. You are the president that I recognize. So if truth be told, that Tinubu is just running the country on your behalf, ladies and gentlemen, this is a real person that is in charge of that country. We only have a caretaker, taking care of the position because she doesn't like positions. But that is the real person running the country. But then, if anything goes wrong with our country, we know who to attack now. So please ensure that our country is in good hands.
In good hands.
Ayobami or Ayo or AY as we fondly call the Ayos, right? Your journey has actually been truly inspiring. I saw you on LinkedIn, and of course I saw your award-winning moment. I would love for you to talk about that award, right? And tell us what ignited your passion for finance and business strategy.
Yeah. So, as an accountant, we are all drawn to numbers and we just think about numbers. But, the interesting thing is that number tells a story. Numbers are always telling you something. And it tells you a story, it tells you like different things. But the more you look, the more you see with numbers. So, and I realized that finance is more than just accounting, and I see finance as the engine room of a business. And, that's a major place that like the business decisions come from. And, as many people that want to hear, I tell them that finance is not supposed to be a support function in organization. It's supposed to be part of the core of the organization. In a lot of multinationals, you have departments like marketing, sales as part of the core business. But for finance, you just look at it, okay, it's a support function. But I don't see it that way. I see it as the engine room of the business, because if you're selling and you don't know what your numbers are looking like, or if you're making investments and you don't know what your numbers are looking at, then I don't know what you're doing in the business. So you need to focus on this. And when you now pair finance with strategy, yes, that's a game changer. You have both finance and strategy together, that's a game changer. So for every business that wants to be successful, that wants to excel, you have to put your finance and business strategy together. Your financial strategy has to align with your business strategy for you to actually make a great success. And it's not just about finance is not just about reporting the past, but it is about shaping the future. And this is when I knew that I wanted to build a career in that part, in finance and strategy combined, finance and business strategy.
I'd say I'm giving you a digital hug right now because I absolutely love what you have just put together. Morgan Q. Anderson bestowed me and blessed me with a title. She says, I'm a modern day business philosopher, and I'm happy that you're aligning with the philosophies of the modern day philosopher. Business strategy is very, very important. That's a core of what I do. That's a core of what my company does. 50% of my company is dedicated towards, business strategy and fractional CFO services. And when you think about it, Albert Einstein, one of the highly regarded geniuses globally, in recent history, said strategy is key. Strategy is key. If I were given 1 hour to achieve a task, he said he would spend 55 minutes fine tuning a strategy and just 5 minutes implementing. So what does that tell you? That strategy is actually key. And when we think about the core of what we do as finance professionals, as finance strategists, we are just trying to achieve one thing, that is help our clients to achieve consistent, continued net positive cash flows. Because like I always love to say, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. Or if you wish, cash is reality. You were actually recognized as, one of Africa's top 10. Top 10, when it comes to top 10, it's a number that is very, very close to my heart because the Kingdoms podcast was recognized as top 10% globally, amongst podcasts in the world. To give you some context, there are over 3.7 million podcasts in the world. And it means that the Kingdoms podcast is in the top 370,000 in the world. And guess what? Next up, we're coming for top 5%. So you're recognized as the global, rather Africa's top 10 exceptional professional, right? In finance and banking just last year. So what does this recognition mean to you personally and professionally?
Yeah, so the recognition was actually humbling, and I was glad that they worked because so I worked with Sanofi, and it's a top pharmaceutical company in the world. It's a French-based pharmaceutical company, and I started my work with them in Nigeria, Ghana, and from there I was able to work for Africa as a whole, and I also had the opportunity to work for the sub-Saharan African business and also the Southern Africa business. So for me, getting this recognition actually validated the years of work I've done, the late nights, the risk taking, and the commitment to building others and other people's businesses. But more than anything, also reminds me that visibility matters. There are a lot of people that are doing this thing or that have worked and have more experience than me, but might not have been recognized because people don't know who they are or what they do, basically. So visibility matters. And it has even pushed me to
Sorry to
show up.
interrupt you.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Visibility truly matters because the post you made on LinkedIn about that award was what made me see you and invite you to the podcast. And, positive bias towards you. You went to the same university with me. You've worked in the first accounting firm I ever worked with. And, your name is Ayobami, one of my best friends from secondary school. Everything just aligned. So you're highly visible, my friend.
Yeah, it is. And, it has pushed me to even show up more boldly, to use my voice and to encourage the next generation of finance professionals. And another thing I do again is I mentor, and I'm also the deputy leader for career development and training for Accounting Women's Network in Nigeria. And that also gives me the opportunity to curate good trainings that finance professional can take on to help them be better for their businesses and their organizations, basically.
So would it be safe to call you the female African giant? Because a certain Burner boy is already calling himself the African giant. So are you the female version?
Well, for me, I'm very humble. I am just Ayobami.
Okay, okay. I like humility, but can we can still be humble and be visible.
Yeah, you need to be still stay visible. I know as much as possible. I try to tell finance professionals that yes, we could have a lot of time that we spend at work. We could have a lot of deadlines we're trying to meet up with, but never underestimate the power of visibility. You have, and it's easier for you to connect with a lot of people around the world now. There are a lot of digital tools. There is LinkedIn, there is Instagram. There are a lot of tools that can help you. And and I like LinkedIn very much because it's a professional network. You meet people of like mind easily there. And you interact with people, you learn from people. So I tell people as much as possible, no matter how busy you are, try to find your place on LinkedIn because it's a very serious space to be as a professional. And you will get people with like minds to either learn from. And people come to me to ask me questions on LinkedIn sometimes, and I respond to them. So that's one thing about LinkedIn. You get to share ideas also, and you learn.
And collaborate.
Collaborate, yes,
Just
collaborations, a
like
lot
this
of
one.
collaboration.
Just like this one.
Like this one, yes, it's a lot of collaboration.
I'm telling you, because I reached out to you via LinkedIn, and yeah,
Yes.
it did happen. Even some guy from Serbia, Lucas Stacevic, we had a podcast recently, and yeah, we met via LinkedIn. And guess what? I rose as high as number 7 amongst the top
Wow.
podcasts in Serbia on the top podcast charts in Serbia. Why? LinkedIn. So,
Because he
and of course,
connected with
I'm
someone.
grateful to everybody around the world streaming and downloading this podcast. Please, let's keep on doing this. And yesterday, I discovered I unlocked new territories. I discovered I was in the top 200 in Singapore and in the top 100 in Ecuador. They don't even speak English in Ecuador, and I don't understand why I'm there. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Yeah, gracias. Yeah, I think they speak Spanish in Ecuador. Gracias, people in Ecuador, and of course, in the Portuguese speaking countries, I see quite a lot of people from Brazil listening to me as well. Obrigado, obrigado, my people. And of course, my Niger people, Niger know the carry last. Niger know the carry
Yes,
last. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, guys. You guys have been very, very supportive. I see Nigerian people. They've been really supportive. I'm really grateful, my people. You actually spoke about building business resilience, right? You emphasize on it, especially within the context of the tough economic space in Nigeria. So, like, what are the top 3 strategies you believe every entrepreneur should adopt to thrive in such tough economic climates?
so for Nigeria, if it's not just Nigeria that has tough economic climate right now. There are other like parts of the world that are also experiencing the same thing. But what I say first is prioritization. You have to prioritize whatever you're working with. So, for example, if you for you have to like maximize your revenue. Prioritize your expenses. That's your cost, what you want to spend on. You can't spend on everything. Look at the most important ones to make investments in. And when you're trying to do that, also look at the ones that look at the one that will give you a higher return on investment so that you also like get a good reason to spend and to get returns also that can help you with your profitability. And like you say, cash is king. A lot of people focus on revenue growth, forgetting to grow their profit, which in turn make up your cash. Because by the time you have a very high revenue and you have a low or very, very a low profit margin, it can be difficult for you to turn it to cash easily. So cash is king. So you always have to like look at your cash flows from time to time to ensure that you have sufficient liquidity or working capital to run the business, basically. So I think my most advice is in this period of volatility is you need to watch how you need to, and you have to also stay innovative too. Innovation is very important because the faster you are able to adapt to the new technological changes, the better for your business. If you look at an example of the past, if you look at the blockbuster movie producers, Netflix have come in and they've taken them out. And if you look at all those things, they didn't quickly adapt to the new technological changes. And even Nokia phone, everybody used to have a Nokia phone in their hand before. But today, you
Okay,
don't have so
actually,
many people using
310.
Nokia. Yeah, you don't have so many people using Nokia phones again as like before in the past, you know. And these are things like once you see
BlackBerry.
that a new technology, yes, BlackBerry also a new technology is coming in, try to find a way to don't say that I'm the market leader. You know, Nokia used to be the market leader at some point. You know, you can't continue to say that I'm the market leader, nobody can move me. And you know, it took some time for them to believe that what's it called, that iPhone was going to take over and Samsung were going to come into the. So, you know, you have to be very, very fast to adapt and innovate. So agility is very important in this kind of economy we're in now. Agility. So the faster you're able to like stay agile and the quicker you're able to innovate and to understand new trends and try to like get into it and start adjusting your business models to see how you can achieve more with less, the better for you. So those are the I think that's the basic advice I can give now.
Thank you very much. God bless you for that piece of advice. Well, speaking of achieving more with less, let me talk about something that actually does help with that. And you spoke about accelerating the pace at which you adapt to the environment. And this thing that we're about to talk about also assists with that. Let me introduce you to something called AI, artificial intelligence.
That's my initials actually. Ayobami Ishola. It's hey hi, you know.
Wow, and that's my initials as well. Ademola Ishola. AI. So AI meets AI on the King Dems podcast and the Diary of a CFO. This is fantastic. This is the best episode ever. You know, this is AI squared. You know, there's nothing you can tell me. AI meets AI. So AI, right? What are your thoughts on AI?
So AI in finance is actually a game changer, you know, not just for automation, but for insight generation. Because you know the way everything is happening, we have predictive analytics, we have digital twins and scenario modeling, and this would transform how we plan and forecast in finance, basically. But it's also equally promising that the soft skills, and we have soft skills as our differentiator because you know, as good as AI is, AI don't have soft skills. You understand? They can do the technical part of the work for us, but we as finance people, we need to like have the soft skills, work more on the soft skill. We need to like so in a world that we have now that have a lot of smart machine, human judgment and influence, empathy, those three things they would
Empathy
set
is very, very
finance
important.
professionals apart. Yes, yes. Because, you know, a lot of time when we're making decisions, you have to use your judgment as a finance professional, you know. You need to like also use your influence and you also have to have empathy with your team members, you know, because this is the human side of us. And this would also set like great finance professionals to set them apart. Soft skills. But AI is here to stay actually. It is here to
We are
stay.
here to
So the
stay, you know.
faster Yes, we are yes. The faster we are able to adapt and adjust to understanding all those automation things that can help us because it will give us more time to be able to give business insight. And I was talking about finance and business strategy at the beginning. With AI, it makes it easier for you to be able to like work on your strategic parts of the business more
Exactly.
than when we didn't have AI. Yes.
Absolutely. You know, when people ask me about how come I've been able to achieve accelerated growth, you know, in terms of my company, in terms of my podcast, the simple answer is, you know who I am? I am AI. And of course, I
AI. Yes.
So that is just the answer to you guys. So guys out there, please take AI very, very seriously. You can reach
Serious.
out to
Yeah.
this AI or that AI, you know, on LinkedIn if you need, you know, any help with your business. And of course, you know, we should be collaborating and yeah, just reach out to us, you know, like we've got you guys. You know, our business is actually to help you mind your business so that you can grow and we can grow. Yeah, that's what it's about. So, you know, you talk about actionable insights, you talk about practical value. So, and of course, you know, you've actually worked across diverse industries and geographies, right? Especially across Africa. What's one common mistake that you see entrepreneurs making when trying to scale their businesses, and how can they avoid it?
Yes. So one of the mistakes I've seen entrepreneurs making in their businesses is just to focus on revenue. A lot of times entrepreneurs focus more on the top line of the business forgetting the other parts.
revenue.
So yes, top line, yes, revenue. They try to grow their revenue. So at some point, they grow to the revenue to a particular stage. Imagine somebody making 100 or 1 billion naira in Nigeria in revenue. And by the time you look at it's a lot, it's a lot of money. And when they get to that stage, they now start trying to look at it that what's my cash flow looking like? What's my profitability looking like? But all the while they had paid attention more to growing the top line. And they kept on growing it, not focusing on the other parts, on the profitability, on the financing. And I know that right now interest rate is very high in Nigeria. So if you're using the cost of capital from if you're using bank loans or overdrafts to finance, if overdraft might be okay, but if you're using like majorly bank loans to finance your business right now, you're paying double digits in interest rates. So if you don't consider that and you keep on growing the revenue and using the high interest rate to finance a business, you might keep growing revenue year on year, but your profitability and your cash flow may be suffering. So I think in all, yes, you focus on everything. Don't focus on revenue growth. As you're looking at revenue growth, look at your gross margin growth, look at your net margins growth also. And also try to ensure that you have enough working capital to reinvest back into the business and ensure that your cash flow is net positive at every point in time, because that is what you can always reinvest back into the business when you need to at every point in time. So don't focus on, in summary, don't focus on revenue growth alone as a business person in Nigeria. Focus on everything. And also, we also have the external environment having a lot of impact on the businesses. Some people don't even have a look at the external environment in this at all. They just look at what's happening internally. But for you to be successful, you need to look externally also. You need to know what macroeconomic policies are going to impact your businesses. Anything that is coming up newly, you need to look at it. How is this going to impact my business? If it's going to impact your business, either positively or negatively, you need to start like looking at it and look at ways to mitigate it. If it's going to be a risk, check out to mitigate it. And if it's going to be an opportunity, look at how you can maximize the opportunity to get the maximum return from it. And also check out your competitors. Yes, your competitors are very important. Sometimes you need to look at what they're doing. How are they surviving and how are they sustaining themselves in these economic conditions, basically. So those things will keep you afloat as a business owner and entrepreneur.
Absolutely fantastic. You're giving me, would I say, nostalgic feelings or deja vu about a particular fractional CFO. She's one of the top fractional CFOs in America. Her name is Monica Roca Quesada. She's a CFO mentor with the CFO project in the United States. She was on this podcast, I think, 2 months ago.
Wow.
And she said something. She said, does it really matter? Does it really matter if you make $3 million in sales, but you're not making profit? Does it really matter? And I told Monica something. I said, Monica, I'll tell you this. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king.
And cash is king.
That was the episode that made me start using that line, because she was basically saying the same thing you were saying, but with an American accent. You're saying it with a Nigerian accent so that it can hit home to the Nigerians listening to this. But remember, it's a global platform, and of course, you actually spitting global facts, on this podcast today. So if people from different places in the world who have never met themselves are saying something, I think it's like what the Bible says. I'm trying to remember that portion of the Bible that says, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. So he that has an ear, let them hear. The entrepreneurs that have an ear, let them hear what the Spirit is saying through, the finance experts like Ayobami and Monica. So I think you're Yoruba like myself, and Yoruba people say,
yes,
they say, what's this proverb? I'm trying to remember it, where they say, tabasoro. How do they put it? More like if you tell a wise child half a word, when it gets into his heart, it becomes a full word. What's the
Okay.
Yoruba saying? Aborola from
Um,
Oluwabi. There you go. There you have it. So, financial data can sometimes seem complex or intimidating. How do you translate these insights into simple, actionable decisions that non-finance stakeholders can understand and act upon?
okay. Yeah. So your non-finance stakeholder, they don't need all the information that your finance stakeholders need. So if you're presenting to or you're speaking to a non-finance professional, you don't need to give all the technicalities. If you say IFRS to them, they might not even know what the meaning of IFRS is. So for me, I look at the information, I try to either put it in a chat or in a bar chart or in a tabular form, something that can be easy for them to see and easily resonate with and relate with. And interestingly, last week I had a training. I facilitated a training, finance for non-finance managers, and I just made a
Oh
post about
wow.
it today on LinkedIn. And yes,
Interesting.
yes,
When I
I
was
did.
back in Nigeria,
Yeah,
I did that training as well. I did facilitate
yes,
for.
yes, I facilitated for it. And
Wow.
the interesting thing is, non-finance professionals, they don't like finance because the field is too complex, and some people don't like numbers as much.
People hate
And
numbers.
for you to make them interested in numbers, you need to make it very easy for them. I know one of the feedback I got from someone at the beginning of the training, I asked, what do you think about finance? The person, I don't like finance at all. That those numbers, they don't resonate with me. And at the end of the training, I asked, it was like, no, you came down to our level. You're able to explain this thing well for me to understand. I was able to understand it well. So what's the basic
Absolutely.
thing? You don't need to give them all the technicalities of finance. They don't need
Yeah.
that. They
People
just
love
need the
graphics. They
simplified.
like colors. Yeah.
Yes, they like graphic. Yeah, they like chat. If you can have chat, they like, and if you can simplify it, instead of saying that our revenue last year was 500,000 and our revenue this year is 600,000, just say that we are having if a 10% growth. It's very easy, and this would have maybe 5% improvement on our margins. Or if our operating cost is increasing, say our operating cost is increasing by 10% because of the increase in inflation or interest rate. You just have to you have to make it easy for them to understand. Instead of you giving them the big numbers that it might not be easy for them to really comprehend. Just make it simple. Just say it in just plain in a sentence. The whole financial analysis you've done. You
I'll
can
give you two
communicate it
words.
to
I'll give you two words.
okay.
Highly relatable.
Yeah, highly relatable, very relatable because these people they don't even have a long attention span for your finance explanation. But once you just give it to them,
Finance.
they don't have they pick the information you've given and it sticks to them because you've made it very simple and easy for them to understand. And I remember when I was teaching about the income statement, about the balance sheet, I told them asset is what you own. And liability is what you owe. That way, it was very easy for them to understand and comprehend because I would say what you own, what I have, what belongs to me, and what I owe. So that way, when I asked them the next day, they remember because it was a 2 days training. They remembered. So those are like some of the easy things that makes life easy. You don't need to make it okay. It is asset, it is liability. Yes, they understand asset, they understand. But if you make it like, oh, this is what you own. These are the things you own. Then what are you owing also? And what are you returning back to the shareholders or to the owners of the business? What belongs to the owner of the business? That's equity. Simple, as in simple language, simple term. Anybody, even a child will remember this. Do you
Balance
understand?
sheet equation. Assets equal
Yes.
to liabilities plus equity.
It's equity. Yeah.
So, as somebody that is passionate about mentoring women and young professionals, what's that one piece of advice you'd give to a young woman aspiring to excel in finance or business leadership?
Hmm.
Women
So what I would say
supporting
to
women.
them is, yes, women supporting women. I actually did a post is it 2 weeks ago about advice to my younger self, my 25-year-old self. And
It's
I
like
put it there.
you saw the next question. You saw the next question on my computer, right? You need to be arrested.
Yeah, because
Please,
it
please
comes
arrest
together.
this woman. Please arrest this woman. Because
So
I believe that is what I have next. So,
yeah,
okay,
so
please just tell us what's your advice to your younger self. What
yes, my younger self and to younger people because it's one, yes.
And of course, please give them financial wisdom, please. Thank you.
Financial wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah, so the first thing is your voice matters, Don't hold back what Speak up in meetings, you need to speak up, share your ideas. You bring value even when you're still finding your footing. That's like the first thing I would say. Then the second thing is you don't need all the answers to make a difference. You don't need to have everything sorted out before you can make a difference. Your curiosity, your courage, and consistency can carry you further than a certificate will.
CCC.
The fact that you can,
Curiosity, courage,
yeah, triple
consistency.
C, yeah,
I love that.
curiosity, courage, and consistency.
I
It will
love
carry you
that. I
further
love
than your certificate.
Wow, fantastic. But they say curiosity kills
Yes,
the cat.
yes, it will.
It no longer kills the cat, you know.
And also sometimes you have to create the opportunity for yourself. A lot of times you don't need to wait for permission, you know, ask for what you want, show up, show what you want to bring and the
Name
outcome.
it and claim it.
This also make people trust you better as a person. And confidence is something that you build in motion. You choose every progress you have. So you choose progress over perfection. Sometimes you are trying to be perfect to get, we need to like set everything to work in place. But the way things are happening now, no matter how good you are at planning, it might not go exactly the way you've planned. So, just choose progress over perfection. Don't try to be
Now
perfect in everything you
I
want.
think you actually hacked my phone because it's like you saw a WhatsApp chat I had with a friend of mine last night. I told them I cherish excellence over perfection. You just switched it up. Like now, I suspect you actually there's something fishy about you.
No, but this, but I made this post like 2 weeks ago or so.
What? What? You're reading my WhatsApp chats. I don't understand.
No. It's
Please,
been
please get this woman.
ago. Yeah, but
She hacked
in
into my device, you know, has this thing ever happened to you? You're discussing something with somebody, and then the next 30 minutes you get on your Instagram and then you start seeing adverts regarding that thing. You're
yeah,
talking
it
about
happened.
shoes, and then you get on your Instagram, you start seeing adverts on
I think
shoes.
there is a voice stuff that our
Yeah,
phones
voice
have now.
recognition pattern.
Yes, that brings what we talk about up. I know in summary, begins the moment you step beyond your comfort zone. And like you said, as women, sometimes we are very comfortable in our comfort zone. There's a lot of things that don't work in our favor at times, being pregnant, childbirth, taking care of the children immediately because after you have the children, postpartum, it's a lot. But you look at yourself and say, who do I want to be? Who do I really want to be? And, my finance journey was not all rosy. I joined Sanofi at a point that I was pregnant with my first child, and I was 3 months pregnant when I joined. That's so I had to go on maternity leave shortly after. And the role I was going into was not a role I'd done before. So I'd worked as an external auditor. I'd worked as a general ledger accountant, and now I was moving from that. I was bringing those experience into finance business partnering. So for me, it was not an easy decision to have made at that time, but I had support from my spouse and my family. Basically,
Love the
they
respect.
encouraged me. Yeah, they encouraged me because I could have stayed back and said, "Oh, after all, they know," because I'd been in the previous role for like 8 to 9 months, so I'd already like gotten some leverage there. And being pregnant, you don't even know what will happen the next moment. You don't know what symptoms will come. You don't know if you can even go to work the next day. You don't know if your body will be weak. You don't know anything that would happen. But I took the bold step, and with the support I had, I moved into the role. There were times I cried actually that was sent me
Yeah,
because it was
that's the thing. These are the pains people do not see, especially
yes,
the tears, behind closed doors, in the night,
yeah.
and people don't see
I cried
there's a
and I
lot
was
of
like,
pains,
because
guys.
yes, there is, because
Yeah.
being pregnant and doing a new role, it was a new industry, a new kind of work for me to do. And it was just different. It was also a multinational. That was my first multinational organization I was going to work for. So it was just a lot. I know there's a lot of expectations. Multinationals, you don't make excuses because it's not just your country. For
Indian done that.
for individual businesses, you can make excuses for, and you can also move your deadlines. But multinationals, you can't move deadlines anyhow. Your the day you're supposed to deliver, you need to. If you cannot make it, there's a room for you to like have given heads up ahead of time.
Yeah.
It's not when it is the time you start saying that I can't make it. No, but it's made me stronger. I became stronger. I became resilient. Yes, I learned, and I also like seeked for help. I asked for help, and I was able to get someone. My CFO at the time got me someone, a woman that was doing very well and had a family and children. So I was able to speak to her. I told her to mentor me. She said, "No, I'm not going to mentor you. You're going to be my friend." And she became my friend. And from then on, it became easier. And one of the things by the time I got back from my maternity leave, after I resumed back the next year, that same year, I was one of the top performers. So this is my top award I got. I've actually also gotten a top performing award as a new mom because it was the same year I got back from maternity. I got back to work. I was part of the top, and we called it Green Star Award then. So that means you're one of the top people that performed very well in the organization,
Green
and I was
Star
recognized for it.
Award.
It was not an easy journey, but I got an award for it at the end of this. I was really happy.
I think
And that's one of the
we should
things
keep it
that
the
also
word of the Kingdom's
encouraged me.
podcast as well. Because
Yeah.
when you look at the Kingdom's podcast, the website is actually green. So you're a star, a green star on the green podcast.
Green Star, yes, Green Star Award.
And the flag of Nigeria is green.
Yes, it's green. I know that was one of the things that also encouraged me to write a book, The Strategic Finance Business Partner, to help finance professionals and also business owners, not just
Fantastic.
for
Tell us about your book.
entrepreneurs.
Tell us about your book.
Because that book doesn't have anything about
Where
like
can the
financial
audience get them?
formulas or all these assets, like you
So
were
I put
saying,
that
assets equals to liability.
in
No,
the
it
show
does not have
notes.
all those things. It's just the business, how can you support your business to get a seat at the table? How can you transform your mindset to move from being a number cruncher to a strategic and value business partner to your organization? Basically. Okay.
So guys, go grab Ayobami's book, The Strategic Finance Business Partner.
Finance business
Platform is it available on?
Yeah. Thank you. I'll send the link to you. It's on Sailor and Self-Earning for now.
Okay, fantastic. So, guys, go grab a copy of the book now, like right now. take a pause on the pod and go grab the book. So, before Ayobami runs away, she's a very busy woman. Where can the audience connect with you?
Yes, so they can connect with me on LinkedIn, Ayobami Ishola. On Instagram, it's Ayobami Ishola.
Like a straight A student,
Yes.
but you're
Yeah.
friends with the cool kids. That's a song by Connor Price. You should go check out that song. It's a fantastic
I
song.
will.
So we're going to end with a quick fire round, 5 questions. Say what comes to your mind first. So, number 1, what's your favorite book on finance or leadership? That is not your book.
Why did you say that is not my book? It's my book, of
Exactly,
course.
because you will always be biased when it comes to your own
Yeah,
book.
it's my
So
book, of course.
just like my best book on entrepreneurship is my own book.
Yes,
So
it's my
please
book.
let
It's
us leave
Strategic
our own
Finance
books.
Business
Let's leave
Partner.
our own books out of the equation. So what is your favorite book that another human being, created by
Right.
Almighty God has written? What is your favorite?
So around finance, right?
Yeah, finance or leadership.
Or leadership. So I like there is a book on leadership by Victoria Abiola Jai, The Precision Led Woman. Maybe because it's a woman's book, it's on leadership. The book is great, and
Because
I
it's a
thoroughly
Nigerian. Because it's a
yes.
Nigerian, right? I see the
No,
Nigerian
not
bias.
necessarily because she's a Nigerian. Well, he said leadership, finance or leadership,
Don't worry, Nigeria
But
they
the book,
carry last.
no, the book really related to me on leadership. So
I will go and find the book. I will go
yes,
and
find
find
it
it
on
because of
Amazon
you.
actually. Also on Amazon, so you
Is
can
it
see it.
Amazon? Okay, I'll go find it. I'll
And
find
it's
it.
not just for women. The fact that it has woman on it, just like I said about my book, it's not just for finance professionals. Anybody can read it. So the book is not meant for just women, although she focused on women. But even people that were not women read the book and said, no, this book is not just for women. Even men can get advice from this book.
What a man can do, a woman can do better. I see. if you somehow, we keep having women empowerment program, but where's the men empowerment program? Like
Because
you
men
guys
are
don't want men to be
empowered.
empowered, huh?
No, men are empowered
It's
already.
a
Men are
lie. It's a
empowered.
lie. Men are not.
I know
Men are not empowered by default.
a lot of things working in your favor, you know.
What is working in our favor?
A
Like
lot is working in
we
your
just have
favor.
responsibilities and burdens and billings.
As a man, you know, when it's now that because people are focusing more on women. How many women used to be leaders of an organization before? It used to be men. How many women used to have a seat at the table? It used to be men. It's just now, even now, we still have like the percentage and the ratio issues. You understand? But it's getting better now. We have more women. If you look at our House of Assembly, our House of Rep, how many women are there? It's a percentage, just a minute percentage. As a woman never ruled Nigeria before. Even at the beginning, you were hyping me that I'm the president of Nigeria. We know it has always been men.
So, the truth is, for me, I don't believe in titles. The real leaders are the ones without the titles.
Hmm.
Who gave Nigeria the name like Nigeria? It was a certain woman called Flora Shaw. So the real people controlling the country are the women. So
Are the
the
women?
presidents are just placeholders. So the women are the real leaders. Let us not deceive
Yeah,
ourselves,
you have a
right?
point. Yeah, you have
So
a point.
you keep hearing they say it's not easy to be a man. It has never been easy, and it will never be easy to be a man. So let's not deceive ourselves.
Things are working for men too now. Men have
Things
paternity
are
leave
not things are
as
not
women have
working for men.
maternity leave now.
How long is paternity leave? Let's not deceive
Oh,
ourselves. Let me move
so
to
men
your next question, please. So your next question is: if you weren't a finance professional, what career would you have pursued?
I think I would like to have been a creative, like maybe like an artist,
An
painting
artist,
or something. Yeah,
painting.
maybe like
What would you
because
paint?
you know,
Would you like to paint me or paint my future?
I think so because you know,
My future is very bright. So if you paint my future, you'll be crying because it will make you go blind.
I think there was a post I did on LinkedIn recently about creativity. Just trying to like because it's no matter how you try when you make a mistake when painting and you just try to like if you've seen it's a mistake, but it's usually very easy to correct. By the time you try to put a little correction, it's a new design. That's the interesting thing about
Absolutely.
paint.
Now
So for
you're
me,
tempting me. You're tempting me to show you an episode on my podcast. It is titled. Let me find it. You should go find it. Or let me try to find it. It's the episode with Neil Bashan, and it's on creativity. I think it would
oh,
be a
creativity.
very,
Yeah.
very fantastic episode for you to go catch. So Neil Bashan is actually Jewish American, and he is a published author. He is a published author with what's the name of this top guys? Macro Hill. You should know Macro Hill, right? Macro Hill is one of the world's top three publishing companies, and he's an award-winning author, and of course he's been nominated for the Emmy Awards. So he's quite a top shot, and he's very very big on creativity. So that's one you should go watch out for. So
Yeah. I would.
are you a morning person
Strategic
or a
finance
night
too.
owl?
What is it?
Are you a morning
I didn't.
person or a night owl?
Morning person. I'm a
I
morning
see,
person.
I see. That's why you keep, scheduling our meetings for mornings, and I am the night owl. So me and you, we should run a company together. You should come join Dems Consulting Limited because I'll be working in the nights, you'll be working,
Hey, what can I
you'll be
know?
doing the day shifts. So we'll
Yeah.
make more money together. That's AI. That's the reason why we have the same initials. For a reason. And we went to the same university for a reason. So number 4, what's your go-to stress relief activity? What do you do to unwind?
Hmm. So my stress relief activity, I just like maybe walking along the beach. Just watching the waves flow.
Waka waka.
It's just it's some kind of calmness. The beach
I know.
serenity and the wave flow. That's my go-to. It
Walking in
just
nature is very therapeutic.
yeah, walking in nature just like takes off all the stress, and you just focus on it and just enjoy nature basically.
My last question for you today is: what's one word to describe your approach to business?
Hmm.
On for today.
Strategy.
What did you say?
Strategy. It says strategy. Be
Strategy.
strategic.
I love that. I love that. You're hereby welcome to KDM's Consulting Limited. So we'll send you your appointment letter after this podcast. Thank you very much. You don't need to accept it. You've been accepted. And of course, I always say this on the podcast, gratitude is good attitude. Anytime a person shares their time with you, they share their life with you. Thank you very much for your time. From me to you, it's a big love and respect to you. I love you very much, but your husband loves you more. Shout out to your husband and your kids.
Thank you.
Tell
Thank
them
you.
we're sending them love and respect from London, England. Do you want to leave a shout out to anybody before you?
Yes, yes, yes. I would like to say a big shout out to my family for supporting me all the way. And
Absolutely.
my mentors, people that really supported my career. I would say thank you to Abel Bamiduro and Ademola. They were like really instrumental to me being where I am because at the point I almost gave up, they were there to hold me up. Yeah.
You almost gave up, right? Can you see this? Can you see this?
So I didn't give up. I wasn't planning to give up, but I just needed a lot of support at that time because if I had not gotten their support, um, it was a tough period because I was trying to juggle motherhood with work. So it was not easy. So I needed like their support to just because at some point I was like, oh, should I go on a career break and come back? But with them, I was able to juggle the balls of everything. And a lot of women still have that part of them trying to juggle everything together.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. This actually speaks to what you said. It's not over when you lose, it's over when you quit.
until it's over, yeah. It's not about it's over.
And of course, quitters don't win and winners don't quit. You are a winner, and we're super proud of you for not quitting. And of course, you may not know it, but you're a very, very big inspiration to millions of women out there. They see you, to look up to you, and I'm grateful to God for your life. And of course, keep being that shining star, that green star that you are and will always be. I wish you the very, very best. In all of your
Thank you.
I want to see you do great things. And we're here for you always. I tell them to carry last.
No, not at all.
So, um, the audience, do the right thing, guys. Thank you very much for the support so far. I want to see this podcast at number one on the charts, guys. And of course, I know you guys can make it happen. Ayobami, any final words for them? Please change out them, the Niger
Yes,
style.
please. Please support this podcast. Like you hear, he's my brother from another mother. So please, you have to support me.
Absolutely. And of course, love and respect to you guys. Till I come your way again, keep shining. Guys, always go for something in your life. Always push through the pain. No gain, uh no pain, no gain, rather, like it's never easy, but you can always achieve it. And of course, you can reach out to either of the AIs, to accelerate your growth journey. And for me, it is goodbye. And from the other AI, it is keep winning.